Hello, I'm Gary Quinn. Welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Live. My guest today is Isabelle Von Fallois, international author and spiritual teacher. A former concert pianist, Isabelle was diagnosed with a life-threatening illness. In that same week, she lost her home, her partner, and her scholarship, and doctors gave her only 3 weeks to live. For over 4 years after fighting for her life, she had a profound encounter with Archangel Raphael that changed her life forever and helped her to heal. Isabelle is the author of several best-selling books and the founder of many healing coaching programs. She's been featured in Om Times, Woman, and Glamour magazine, and has appeared in many spiritual movies with Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, and Lorna Byrne. She currently is the host of her new podcast, Victorious You. Don't go away. I'll be right back with the incredible Isabelle Von Fallois. Welcome to the show, my favorite friend, Isabelle. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much for this lovely introduction. You are such a beautiful soul, and I'm so honored to be on your podcast. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's our soul sister and brother. We go way back, and I'm so happy of all the things that you continue to do. And I know that a lot of people know your story about being diagnosed with that leukemia years ago. What was that like, Isabelle, when you heard that diagnosis? Was it a shock? Was it fear? You must have had a million things, emotions going through your head.
Yeah, as you said, it was really tough because in the moment when I received the diagnosis, it was in the middle of the night. It was at midnight in hospital. And I had just lost my house, my scholarship in California. I had lost my relationship in the same week. And then the doctors gave me maximum 3 days to 3 weeks to live. And I was there in hospital and I was really completely devastated, as you can imagine. And as I was already clairvoyant since childhood, I saw kind of a movie, kind of a vision, and I knew if I stayed in hospital being so devastated, like hitting rock bottom in the real sense of the meaning, I just wanted to leave the hospital because I saw if I started with the chemotherapy right away in that night, I'd die.
Yeah.
And so I called my parents to pick me up, and something incredible happened because I couldn't leave because the main doctor of this unit of the hospital was not there at midnight. And so I had to stay one more night there, and it was incredible. I mean, you can imagine I didn't sleep one single second. And of course, I didn't look like today, but this doctor was incredible. He wanted to talk just with me alone. He put me into a wheelchair and drove me into his room. And then he was looking into my eyes and he was saying to me, you know what? You're such a gorgeous, such a talented woman. If you die, my heart breaks. You can't leave the hospital. And Gary, this was the moment I thought it is worth living because this man was really good looking and I had just been left. And so I thought, if there are men out there like him, I want to live. This was like truly a human angel.
And so when you were discharged from the hospital, you went home with your parents. When was the connection with Archangel Raphael, or how did it open up for you? Because I know when people have a illness or something that's really intense, you reflect on your life a bit differently, and you almost look through life with different lenses in your life, and you really do not take anything for granted.
That's so true. So I left the hospital because I knew I had to forgive my ex-partner, because I knew I had only a chance to survive if I was in peace. So in the 2.5 weeks I was at home, I just worked on forgiveness, but then I had to go back to hospital because otherwise I would have died. And it was really, to be honest, a fight between life and death for 4 years. And after 4 years, seeing doctors, seeing healers, seeing I don't know whom, on my birthday, I decided there's no human being who truly can help me. And I decided I just will go on praying and meditating and just truly surrendering into the hands of God. And I did that for 2 months. And I still remember like yesterday, I was meditating, Gary. I had my eyes completely closed. And all of a sudden, I felt the air pressure changing. So I opened my physical eyes, and there was the most beautiful, radiant, magnificent angel up to the ceiling, standing in front of me, saying, I am Archangel Raphael. Finally, you can see me. Finally, you can hear me. Now you can become healed. And you can imagine, like, tears were running down my cheeks, goosebumps all over my body. And I knew.
And you know, Isabelle, when we surrender, I believe, to the higher power, to God, I believe that it's faith in action. It's walking through the fire, but knowing that there is light on the other side, and that we want to have a mission in this lifetime as, I don't want to say disciples of God, but really it's an energy that you were brought into this circle to be taught. And look at where you walk through that fire, and you have become this earth angel. I believe we're all earth angels, and I know the work that you do and how we met was divine timing. And let's tell that story, because you're not the only one that my book had jumped out of the bookstore, and you were in a bad state. You were still in Germany, but my book had come out in Germany, and I had seen something on you, but I wasn't. We didn't know each other.
No, it was still in the healing phase after leukemia, when all my organs had been destroyed from so much chemotherapy, that I was looking for books about nutrition, how to change my way to eat, to restore my organs. And I was at this bookstore with my now husband, and a book fell out of the shelf, and it was your book, your angel book. And I thought, oh my God, this is incredible. And if I had money, I would fly to Los Angeles to have a session with you. And deep in my heart was this wish to meet you one day, someday, somewhere. And then something incredible happened, right?
We met I was doing my second time in Zurich at the Lebenskraft, and I saw your picture, and I said, I have to meet her. Or I had heard about you or had seen you. And I remember I walked into your class and I said, Isabelle, and you looked at me and said, like, we knew each other instantly.
Yeah.
And then that's how we connected. And then we've been connected all through doing events together, connecting, having a great time in Zurich together, doing an event in Germany together, meeting you here in LA. And just really, I think that's spiritual alignment of divine timing of souls that are brought together, because I know we've known each other many, many lives.
Of course. And you remember, I brought you to Italy, and now you're more often in Italy than me.
Yes, exactly. When we did the Princess Martha Louise event that you put on.
The Angel Congress in Torino, right?
Yes. So we are soul family, and I'm there to support you. And I know that you're helping so many people, and I've seen the faces of the people that you've done healings and done events in Weiler, and really created the synergy. And I know now you are doing a women's empowerment series that you're now coaching people, which is so needed. And I know you've written many books, bestsellers in Italy and in Switzerland and Germany and in America and everywhere. But what was the catalyst that switched you into helping more women? Because I know when you do a lot of workshops, you really see what's needed.
Yeah, honestly, it already started a long ago when I did the education, the training with Doreen Virtue. This was in 2006. It was in Laguna Beach where I had a session with one of her friends, and it was on a crystal bed. And I was lying on that crystal bed, and she was called Chris. And we both had the same vision during the session that one of my most important parts of my mission would be to really help women to come into their true power, to shine bright, and to truly remember who they are. And I truly think that we need, as women, to come back into peace, to teach the children, the men, everyone, to rule the world in a very, very different way. And also, the Dalai Lama and other people have said, it will be the Western woman who will change the world. And I think it's so important that we really remember who we are, that we are as powerful as men, just in a very different way. And it's not about feminism. I'm not a feminist, because I think we only can change this world if women and men, and it doesn't depend how you call your gender, so that whomever is living on this planet, we come back into this union and we remember that every one of us, no matter which gender, has a feminine part and a masculine part within. And we have to unite these parts within us. We have to stop the war within us so we can stop the war outside. And I think this is so, so important.
What do you think why people are so unhappy, even though they look happy? But I know deep down that there's a lot of people that they sometimes look outside themselves to be happy. If I have more money, if I have a new partner, if I have a big New York Times best-selling book, I'll be happy. But really down deep, they're not happy. What's the secret? How would you start with a person that comes to see you, or a class that you want to teach them? What is love? Why? How do they go back to the essence of love?
I think the first thing we all have to relearn, or even learn more, is to be grateful for the things we take for granted. I will never, ever stop remembering the moment when I was in hospital, really in danger of dying the next day. And I turned on the TV, and at that time was the war in Chechnya. And in that moment, I really understood something for the rest of my life. I realized I have just a little leukemia, but I'm not in the middle of war. I'm not getting raped. My loved ones don't get killed in front of me. So I'm the most happy and the most rich person on this planet, because all the doctors, all the nurses, everyone is taking care of me, trying to help me to survive. And in this moment, I understood the power of gratitude, and I became the most grateful person I can be. And Gary, every single doctor, every single nurse in that hospital told me they've never seen a person who said so often, thank you, grazie, merci to them than I did, And I think this is so important, because when you remember that you have still, in the most difficult situations of your life, and remember I had lost everything, you still have so much to be grateful for. In that moment, you remember also the love of the people around you, the people who truly love you. You don't need many people to love you, but you need a handful of people who you can truly trust.
And what you said is so true. I think the number one thing is for people to really learn how to love themselves.
Yes. And Gary, here I have an incredible story, because I didn't love myself, honestly, when I was there in hospital, when I lost all of my hair, when I lost my eyelashes, my eyebrows and everything, and I had to take these hormones because I was not allowed to have menstruation. So I got like really, I took weight on, and I had no hair. And I was looking one day in the mirror and I thought, I'm so ugly, like a monster. And I really started crying and I was horrified. And the strange thing was, I should have been more afraid of dying, but I was truly afraid never finding a man again. And I was looking into that mirror. And in that moment, I remembered Louise Hay. And I started to do mirror work. Gary, I think I was standing like, I don't know how long in front of that mirror, trying to say, I like myself. I don't know how long it lasted till I could say, I love you. I really, really love you. But in the moment I could say this, because I saw my soul in my own eyes, everything changed forever in my life.
And I'm a big fan of Louise Hay. I've been really listening to her for the last 9 months because I went through some issues health-wise, energy-wise, and I know that her affirmations empower one to really look into themselves. And I think if anybody out there is having an issue, they should listen to all her audio meditations, affirmations, because you are right. When we look in the mirror and say, I love myself, that is so important. What's the personal goal for Isabelle? What do you want to envision? Because I think we all have to have an intention, or not that it has to happen this way, but I think we have a direction of where do you see yourself in the next year or 2 years? What do you want to really God to use you as a vessel? In what way?
Honestly, I still really want to empower more women. And I have brought many tools from the divine into the world. And I'm feeling there's still coming more. And because I really feel we have to help women to release their traumas, issues of abuse, and these kind of things. And I have been working with so many women in the last, 15 years more. And this is what I want to do, really help even more women to become strong and powerful. So different kinds of children will be raised here to really be able to change the world into a new era of golden age.
And I think you have to bring back your classical piano skills in either playing, doing a video, an audio, something with your skills, and maybe it's a meditation with your music. I don't know, Isabelle, but music is healing the soul, and you're such a talented musician. I think we have to bring that back somewhere.
Yeah, I know. This is true too. This is also part of my vision, that I will have more time again to really play the piano, because, as a professional musician, you have been there too. You don't want to go out and play if you are not at your level, You have to practice again, but I'm envisioning that too. Yes, for
Good.
Sure.
Excellent. All right. So some quick questions. Love is
the most powerful force in the universe, and love is able to heal anything and to overcome anything. And everyone has, as true essence, nothing but love within.
Heaven is
something incredible, beautiful. I know that. I have been several times with near-death experience on the other side. And I absolutely love to be connected to the light beings.
God is
the omnipresent force, the absolutely greatest love in the universe. And if we remember that we all are sparks of God, we can be truly in our original power.
If you could go back into history and meet someone on the other side and ask them a question, who would it be and what would you ask?
I absolutely love Jeanne d'Arc, Joan of Arc, and because I think this kind of faith was incredible she had. And I truly would love to ask her how she activated this incredible power as this young girl, this young lady, to be able to guide so many men and to really change the history as such a young girl.
Excellent. I know you have several online seminars and events available, and people can go to your website and find out how they can sign up, which is isabellevonfallois.com for those out there, and they can go online and listen to your podcasts, which is a new one, which I had the pleasure to do. Tell me about the podcast. That's new.
That's absolutely new because, I'm mostly teaching now in German with an Italian translator, but I really need also to speak to my English-speaking audience. And so I decided to do the podcast not in my mother tongue, but in English to really support also these people. And so I truly think I will do more English events, but I don't do like this online courses. I only do like online live events because I really want to create an energy together to create a very sacred healing space in all of my events. And so I'm truly looking forward to do more in English next year.
Yes, I think you should really do more podcasts in English, which the podcast is called Victorious You, which is a great title. Well, I want to thank you for spending this time with me, Isabelle. You know how much I am fond of you and love you, and I can't wait to work with you again and see you again. But really, just keep doing what you're doing. I support you in your work, and I want you to play the piano again.
Thank you so much. And I'm so honored to being with you here in your podcast. And yes, my podcast will just be in English. This is the goal really, because I want to have a lot of international guests and have already recorded I think 8 episodes, and it will just come out by the end of the year. And I'm so happy to have you already in the first guest episode.
Yay. Well, I wish you happy rest of the year and a great new year. And I will see you soon. I know that. And thank you so much. And lots of love, and keep the energy moving.
Thank you so much. Merci, my dear friend. And a big angel hug to you, and a big angel hug also to everyone who is listening to this.
I'm Gary Quinn. Thank you for this special episode of Ready, Set, Live. Until next time, be well.